Hello, my name is Mitch and I draw Blood Force. What the hell is this? Why would anybody talk about Youngblood number 0? um, I don't know. It just seemed like something to talk about. So, this is a Youngblood comic. That's what it is. Came out December of 1992. So, Image has been going for less than a year, like 8 months. Youngblood, same thing. And we're already on a number 0. What the shit? What's the point of that? Well, you're Rob, and you want to get to all your landmarks really, really quick because you got no patience. And this is the time for 0 issues. I mean, there were a few around at this time. Image didn't do as many of them as I remembered. Like, there's this one, there's Cyberforce, and you get a few of the lesser comics like Brigade. I think there's like a Stormwatch 0. There's a few of them, and they're origin stories. The one that was really making the 0 comics popular at this time was Valiant Comics, actually, with Magnus, with Rai, I think Exo, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's just a chance to tell an origin story. So if somebody goes like, okay, but where do I get the actual origin from if I want to check that out? And they don't want to piece it together from like all sorts of stuff. You go, here you go. This is a pretty concise origin, or like a pretty big chunk of it, that kind of thing. And I think Rob likes the idea of his team having a mythology. Even though there's no real story. There's no story to this. There's no story to Youngblood numbers 1 through 3, which is where we are, April through December. Although this does at least partially explain the gap between 2 and 3. If we recall, number 2 was October, number 3 was February. Kind of. Although, again, yeah, I like to do my detective work. This, to me, feels like the first draft for Youngblood. Because, for a couple of reasons. If we look at the cover, we can see, for one thing, there's a lot of effort in this cover for Rob Liefeld. From, the Dutch angle, look at all the backgrounds, look at all the effort to get all the characters in, looking cool, He didn't half-ass it. Like, the Youngblood number 1 comic cover, one thing about it is, like, he got, like, 90% of the way there. And this just went, when he got to the feet. You couldn't do it. And then that was the end of it. Because we're not doing backgrounds. Nope, fuck it. I already messed it up. Merritt, get in here. You're drawing speed lines. This one, like, we're getting brickwork. We're getting cracked brickwork. Shaded. Like, this is more effort than the X-Force number 1 cover went to. We get the wide hatching down here that indicates that this was from a tiny sketch that was blown up. But you look at the team, too. And we're showing Riptide and Cougar and Battlestone. I don't know if he was part of the original thing or just he wanted to work him in so that there's a reason for Brigade to tie to Youngblood. But, I mean, these guys were on the original Youngblood team. And that was back from when it was published in Megaton. Well, not published. They did a little ad. Rob loves doing those little ads. Where it's like, your comic heroes suck. Here's some good comic heroes. And, that's... he's done that a couple of times. He did that with this. He did that with Berserkers. And that led to the Image thing. And yada, yada, yada. But yeah, that original team had these two. I wonder if it's just like, I like Sentinel too. We really should have Sentinel on the team. Maybe this shouldn't be the beginning. I don't know. I wonder at what point he decided this wasn't what the team was going to be. So looking at it here. And you look at the credits. Yeah, we got to go around this thing because this is yet another Image number 0 issue. So, Rob's the creator, the writer, and the penciler. But wait a minute, Dan Fraga is also the penciler. they give very specific pages for Fraga. But Rob Liefeld, he's the real penciler. Rob's not inking himself. He's getting Danny Meeke to do it. Danny Meeke does a pretty good job on Rob, at least. You know. Still getting Brian Murray to do the color design. He's getting better, though. This looks more comic booky. I don't know who Kurt Hathaway is, so maybe the letters aren't going to be that great. But just starting out. This is, like, look at all the detail here. Like, this is the this is the White House. We don't get an establishing shot of the White House because Rob felt that these 3 vertical panels were more important. He might have been right. It says Washington, D.C., the White House, if you bothered reading that. And, I mean, you kind of get it from that. You get it from that. You know, it makes sense. But, yeah, there's a lot of work into these. This is why I think, I wonder if this came right in that first initial output. Because by, I want to say Youngblood 4 or 5, he's already, oh, well, he didn't draw 5. So I guess it would have had to been 4. And number 6 is when he basically does a reboot, because it's been 2 years. No, for real. Hang on. So if we recall, Youngblood number 3 came out October of 1992. Then December, we get Youngblood number 0. Then we get Youngblood number 4 in February. And we're already at Final Battle. And then July, we get Youngblood number 5. Kind of. We get half of Youngblood number 5. The other half is fucking Brigade. And yeah, like I said, this is not drawn by Rob. This is by Chappie Ape. Just Rob felt like drawing covers. That was it. And then number 6, which is June. We were just at July. So he took almost a full year off. I mean, he might be drawing other stuff. He's probably drawing other covers. Let's give him that. But he took almost a full year before issuing the 6th issue of Youngblood. And really, if you were a Rob Liefeld fan at that time and you were surprised, you weren't a real fan. You didn't. You should have known. Come on. Oh, I forgot about you. So anyway, back to this. So yeah, we're trying. This is something we're going to see a lot of. Is the double page spread that's been turned vertical. And this is, I think, an old favorite of Rob's from his X-Force days. But he's going to do this a few times in this one. But, like, look at how much detail he gets on these helicopters. Chapel's going to die. That's like 80 feet at least. Battlestone's going to impale himself on all these guns. But that's all right. Because, I mean, like, for Rob, this is a pretty kick-ass image. Right? And this is one he really wanted. And, because this is the thing that, yeah, that always confused me about this comic. Because you turn the page, and that's not Rob anymore. That's Dan Fraga. And it's like, well, why would he do that, though? Like, he wrote it. He was the only writer, too, wasn't he? Yeah, I think he was. And, I mean, this is all still fighty stuff. It is. It's also kind of complicated. Like, there's a lot of dudes in this panel. Probably this should be another 2-page spread if you want this panel to really be an effective Rob Liefeld panel. That's not how perspective works. Oh, hiding in her hair. I don't want to rip Dan Fraga. I don't. I mean, for one thing, he gets like a thankless job here. Because the thing that I've decided, again, this is me doing my detective work, is that Rob had a Youngblood story. If this isn't the initial Youngblood Mark 1, that I wonder if it might be. It's like I'm 50-50 on that. It may not be. If it isn't, it is still one of the early things, and it's a story that he felt was important. But only so important because Rob just did the cool stuff. he did this. So he wanted to start out, like, he jumped in on page 1. And it's like, yeah, I know, I'm going to do this one right. And then he got to this thing, and he's like, this is awesome. And now I'm going to jump to another cool 2-page spread. Because this one's kind of hard. This probably should be like 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. I don't know. If we're drawing like real Liefeld pages. Like these 3 panels could be a page. This could be 2 pages. This could be a page. Probably, right? If you're Rob Liefeld drawing these things. And, okay, so they're fighting Iraqis. Because this is 92. I wonder if the Gulf War is still going on at that time. I don't know too well. I will check. Okay, so it's not in December of 1992. This isn't set then. This is set summer of 1988, which is like, oh, okay, so we were at war? No, but they weren't at war with the Iraqis then. That started in 1990. So there's no real reason for this conflict, particularly for a bunch of loud-ass superheroes. What's the reason for this? This is like classic Liefeld dialogue. We have a potential international incident on our hands, Mr. President. Central intelligence reports that the Iraqis are preparing to cross the Kuwaiti border. Not for another year or so, but... So... they don't... And the president immediately asks for SEALs. And I'm giving credit for this. At least the guy's like, what? No, you don't send SEALs for that, sir. And he's like, oh, well, who do we have? We have Youngblood. And so they send him in. And Dan Fraga's not really up to the task here, is he? He gets better. At least a bit better. By the time he's doing Bloodstrike, he's getting to be a decent Liefeld ripoff. One of the better ones. Here, though, this might be his first work with Image, and he doesn't really know what he's doing yet. This looks fine. It's very Liefeld-y. This is nothing. It's not a cool shot. It's just, I guess Liefeld wrote, Chapel shooting somebody off panel. And he went, okay. And it doesn't look like anything, really. This is a bad punch. And we got a standard Liefeld shot. Not standard Liefeld proportions, though. He's, Dan Fraga's kind of locked in on, like, regular superhero proportions. That's interesting. I feel like he's trying here with the thigh. It looked like he just kept adding mass on. Just like, no, another line. No, another. God damn it. I need these thighs to be freaking elephantine. And, yeah, so we get some no-name guy in a ripped shirt. All these guys get these cool-ass costumes, theoretically, right? Is he supposed to be the Nick Fury? Maybe he is. I mean, he's got a cigar, and Rob likes his tropes. So he's arguing with him that they need to go searching for underground bunkers. And he finds one, like, right away. And this other guy comes with him. At least he's got a real costume. And it leads immediately to getting blown up. And this guy here is like, yo, that's crazy. I got to go in after them because we need more guys getting blown up. And Battletone's like, no, you idiot, you'll die. And then he kills him. And we get these weird Danny Meeky strokes, which are taken from Rob Liefeld. I mean, Liefeld was doing that stuff when he's inking himself. And it's intentional. It seems so weirdly time-consuming, though. I've always, like... I think when I first saw this, I'm like, that can't be on purpose. Like, he's just going, like... And when he takes his pen off, it just drags for some reason. But, like, that's obviously on purpose. I know, it's such a weird little line. And it's all over the place in these. And you gotta like these. I'm not sure what the point of these layouts was, where everything's a long bar on the top. They were just trying to keep it interesting, trying to avoid the 9-panel grid. And then Rob's, this was the page Rob wanted to draw. That's a cool page for Rob. You know, he even managed not to fuck up the hand too bad. And then, oh man, that punch is going to be so sick. And boop. Not so much. We even get, the blood trail describes the arc that Battlestone must have gone through. And we get a very distant fight here. And no impact. I guess that's an impact, but yeah. It would have been helpful if Rob had maybe done some layouts. It's he could have kept some energy going on this at least. And so they beat him down. Chapel pulls rank and puts him under arrest, which doesn't seem like a very Chapel thing to do. Like that's another thing. Is like Die Hard goes no, and he goes and gives him the boot punch. Isn't Chapel supposed to be more of a hothead mercenary kind of cold-blooded killer kind of guy? Wait, he's a hot-headed cold-blooded killer? I think I just killed my own logic. Oh well. So okay, now we know why it's Die Hard. And I haven't said anything about the coloring once in this yet, have I? I said quite a bit. Yeah, see, look, man, he always wants to try some weird stuff. This looks great. The separations here, I feel like Rob forgot what the costume looks like, and Brian Murray's like, I will save you, Rob. This doesn't look so great. Yeah. I feel like just sometimes he gets too caught up trying to do something interesting and forgets that he's coloring a comic. At this point. He gets to be pretty good later on, I think. Yeah. And then we get to the trial of Battlestone, which is held in space. Space trial. And now we get some fucking dimensions going. Like, this is some Rob Liefeld proportions going on here. We're at like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're probably hiding another head's worth in here. So, like, 8 feet tall. Or 8 heads tall, rather. And we're not going to do actual manacles. It gives me a chance to not draw hands. And his 27 abs. I wonder if this was the start of his more current thing, where he draws really lumpy looking abs. And look, you see, we're still doing the double page spread here. Because Rob wanted to draw this stuff. Like, yeah, see, like, so he does the White House page, he does the jumping page, all the stuff with Battlestone and Die Hard fighting and Youngblood fighting the Iraqis. He doesn't want anything to do with that, so he hires one of his flunkies. Sorry, Dan Fraga. You know, but that's a cool shot, Dan, that Rob wanted to draw. And if you want to draw that, Rob, you got to draw all this. It's like, God damn it. I really don't want to. I really, really don't want to. But I want to draw it again here. So, all right. I wonder if this even... Like, this doesn't even look like a Liefeld thing. That could be Merit, actually. I'm not for sure. And I can't tell. That. I mean, the stance looks like Liefeld there anyway. Yeah. Is this one also? It is. But I guess he took a couple of days off because he really wanted to make sure all these panels looked impressive. And they kind of do. And so this is present day, 14 months later. And Youngblood's getting a makeover. They're no longer the team you get to attack people you're not at war with. But yeah, he's putting all sorts of effort into the look of these guys, into, get all the lines on shaft here. Make sure the proportions look pretty good. Jeez, it never ends, And here we get the classic shot of Youngblood being introduced. Who's this guy? Link. Was he in Youngblood #1? I can't remember now. And this was a shot that I kind of wanted to emulate. And before I look back on it, I'm like, man, how did he get all those heads in there along with all the script? I was like, yeah, it was a 2-page shot, man. That's why. You fucking cheated. And you get the legs that go on forever here. You get the background full of just boxes. You also get the first time Chapel shoots on his bike. Or a couch. Shoots on it, sits on it. Yeah, because if you look in Youngblood #1... Okay, so I think this defeats my theory that this was drawn around the same time as Youngblood #1. Because I think this was his first shot of Chapel sitting on things. Well, I mean... Okay, really this was the first shot of Chapel sitting on things. And then he does this, where he's perched on it. And then he moves to this, and he's like, I'm really getting the hang of this. By issue #6 in 3 years, Chapel's going to be sitting on things, and it's going to look like Chapel's sitting on things. Instead of just, he's got tiny legs that don't move. Or that don't bend. And of course Rob wants to draw this page, because it's just big group shot, heads and heads and heads, and like nothing going on here. And then, after all that, here's the... There's another group shot of Youngblood. Like it's, like what did Rob draw in this? Not much. But he did make sure that, he spent some time on the stuff that he did decide to draw. It's not a lot. And Prophet's coming out in spring. It won't be good, though, until Stephen Platt gets there. And Bloodstrike's coming out. Oh, so this is before Dan Fraga got to be any good, really. I mean, he never got to be great. Or even really good. But from what I understand, I don't think he's in comics anymore. I believe he's working in film now. And this is... the image, I remember this one. This is... Liefeld decided he wanted to try the Sam Keith spirally ripped up clothes. I don't remember too many shots looking like this. This might be the only one where he's like, oh my god, that was so much harder than I thought it was. Yep. So yeah, it was just that was one of those things back when this first came out. I remember being like, why did they get the crappy artist to do like half the fight? Why didn't they get Rob to do it? And Rob didn't feel like it, I guess. And the coloring up on this doesn't look great either. This looks like early Brian Murray coloring. Oh well. Yep. But yeah, no, just a weird little comic with a lot of double-page spreads. I'm sure Rob made some money off of those. And then nobody made money off of these. And then here I'll give you a little bit extra out of this one, because I made like bank off of this. Yep. No, so yeah, if you're wondering why we do this, I'm not sure, but I don't know. It felt like something I could talk about. Holy shit! Look at those eyebrows. I'm just noticing those now. Come on, Dan. You got to know that's not okay. Anyway. So that's going to be it for this one. If you like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notifications, and then go over to Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Team Blood Force. Go to Patreon. You can subscribe there. The link is in the description. That's where I keep all my original artwork. as well as these videos, sketchbook stuff, process stuff, whole stockpile of drawing stuff. It's in the Patreon thing. And, fuck, I don't know. Thanks. Bye.